And now, your 60-second piano lesson.
All right, so this is that blues comping thing you've probably heard before. So all you're gonna do is, this is not the blues, like how to play the blues form, just that thing right there. You take whatever chord you're supposed to be playing, so you pick pretty much any note. In this case, it's C. And you're just gonna go up 7 half steps. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. There you go. You're gonna play 2 of those. And then you're gonna play, just move that top note up another 2 half steps. Right there. You're gonna play 2 of those. Just back and forth. So if your bottom note was, let's say, an A flat, then what you do is go up 7 half steps. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Play 2 of those. And then go take this note up 2 more half steps. 1, 2. Play 2 of those. So it works on any note. Go up 7 and then just alternate between that and the one that's 2 up from there. Good luck. Have fun.
And now, your 60-second piano lesson.
All right, so real quick, you're just gonna take any scale that you know, like the C major scale. You're just gonna take the first note, you're gonna play that one. You're gonna take the third note, 1, 2, 3. You're gonna lower it just a little bit. Play that one. Then you're gonna play the fourth note, 1, 2, 3, 4. So you get those ones so far. And then you're gonna play the note that's in between the fourth note and the fifth note. So that's that one right there. So far we have 1, flat 3, 4, sharp 4, 5, and then play the one that is the 7th note of your scale, and then the last note of the scale. If you want to too, you can also lower the 7, play that one. So you got 1, flat 3, 4, sharp 4, 5, flat 7, 7, 1. That's the blues scale. Good luck. Have fun. Welcome back to LearnPianoLive.com. My name is Jamin, and as you can tell from the countdown clock, the lesson is about to get started. In case you're new with us, there's a few things I'd like to show you to help you throughout the lesson. These lessons are always guided and shaped by your questions, and if you're live with us today, there's a couple different ways you can do that. One is in the public live chat, and the other is the Ask Jamin a Question button, where you can ask me a question privately, and I won't share your identity in case you're afraid that your question is stupid. But it's not. If you're in the archives, though, then just open up the survey. At the end of that, there's a place where you can ask your question. I will say I frequently get questions from students in the archives watching a lesson from 6 months ago, and I have no idea what they're talking about. So please try to be as specific as possible. If you're watching this at LearnPianoLive.com, there should be a PDF and an MP3 button right next to this video. The PDF will often have additional video links inside so you can get more in-depth instruction on each of the topics. And if you're the kind of person who likes to print out the PDF so you can make the same notes on your physical version as I'm making during the lesson, now would be the time to do that. The MP3 is just a play-along track so you can practice more after the lesson. In traditional lessons, a teacher is going to actually present some new concept for maybe 5 or 10 minutes every couple weeks. The rest of the time is going to be spent applying and refining those concepts. Well, here I'm spouting off hours of new information every week, so it's totally unreasonable to expect you to actually absorb all of that. Instead, the goal of these live lessons is for you to find some little nugget of something that makes sense, but is a bit of a challenge, and for you to go practice it, because practice is where all the improvement's going to happen. So don't feel bad if you have to leave the live lesson when you find that little thing that you're going to practice. And of course, if I'm going too fast, you can always rewind the live lessons or replay in the archives as much as you want. If these live lessons start feeling random or meandering, it's because they are, on purpose. So if you're the kind of person who wants classical training with a step-by-step method, then you're going to want to check out Kloppel Academy on the website. It's included in your live lesson subscription, so you can do both or either. And the upper levels are seriously hard work, but it's going to take you all the way from ground zero, all the way up to being ready to enter any major music college as a piano major in classical or jazz. And finally, it's most people's favorite. This is application, where we take the past concepts from other live lessons and we see how they apply to an actual, real song that already exists. And since there's like 1,000 different ways to play any song, you're just going to work on the version that is appropriate for your level. So that might just mean playing one note at a time for right now. Or maybe you're working on chords or covering the full song. Or maybe you're just seeing how the song breaks down so you can better write and transcribe your own songs in the future. But whatever your level is, the goal is not this song. So even if you don't play the whole entire song, you'll get better by even attempting a little bit of it, and attempt it we shall. Welcome back to LearnPianoLive.com. My name is Jamin, and this is our moderator, Kendra.
Guess what?
What?
I got to see a friend that I
You're great at
haven't seen in a year, and
Okay.
she came over to my house the other day, and it was really, really fun.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Nice, like from school or something.
Yes, from
Okay.
middle school. Yeah.
All right, because it's summer, and that's
It's
what you do in
summer.
summer, is have fun and stay up late. and
Yeah.
sleep in late.
Read lots
Everything.
of books,
Read
for me.
Oh, okay. It's the opposite
Write
of
lots
that for
of
me in
new
my
songs.
summers. Okay, school time was when I had to read a lot, and then summer was a break from that, but good for you. Good for you. I'm being
I
a
mean,
bad
at least I
influence
get
over
to
here.
choose the books. Like,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, well, I guess I played a lot more music in the summer than during school when I was busy. Anyway, today we're going to try something new and a little bit different, because regardless of how in-depth the lessons get, some of you still feel like, yeah, but like I didn't really learn anything there. And no matter how simple we make the lessons, some of you are like, yeah, but you didn't really break it down and show me anything. So today I'm going to try to break it down entirely, show you note by note exactly how to play this song that we're going to be spending weeks and weeks pulling apart, reharmonizing, writing solos over, writing other songs in the style of this song.
Sorry.
Oh,
Continue.
yes, that song right there. So I'm going to show you how to play this one note by note, so that in all of the future lessons, at least you have something you can play along with us while we're getting farther in-depth into the song. So here we go. Here's what we need. Very first thing is we need a G sharp right here. Now I've given you the sheet music in case that is too much. I also wrote in the names of the notes for you and gave you the lyrics here. So hopefully this will be enough for you to play through the melody. Now the chords are also above there, but you don't have to worry about any of that. All you have to worry about is what's written inside of that circle and lining it up with the word. That's step one. So that would look something like this. G sharp, G sharp, G sharp. Now this is a G sharp because this note right here is a G. So the letters are going to go from, now, yeah, this is really, really breaking it down. If this is a surprise to you, then there are some other lessons that you need to take, the beginner basic, absolute beginner's basics, something like that. There's a course in the Musipedia on the website that'll show you all this stuff. But this is an A right here. So we need to go any group of 3 black notes, take the middle note, drag it up, you'll land on an A. Then we go A, B, C, D, E, F, G. And then it starts over again, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, and slightly higher than a G is a G sharp. Okay, cool. So we know why this one is called a G sharp. It's slightly higher than a G. We're gonna play 3 of those. If I could, we're gonna go up to an A, reach, the stars. Now I've given you a play along track as well. So the play along track sounds like this. 2, 1, 2, 3, and if I could reach the stars. Okay, cool. So it's going to take some practice in order to be able to play those notes along with the track to be able to play it that quickly. But we will not practice here for long enough for you to be able to get all of these notes, but hopefully you'll at least understand, oh, okay, I understand what I should play, when I should play it. I just can't do it yet until I practice a little bit more. Then we've got a big old long break right there. And then pull one down for you is the exact same notes, but in reverse order. Pull one down for you. B, B, A, A, G sharp. Then we get to do that exact same thing again. Working our way up, shine it on my heart, or shine it on my heart, depending on how you want to split up the A's and the B's there. Those are kind of optional, whether you want to play those as A's or B's. And then same thing, but coming back down. So you could see the truth. Then we're going to do the same exact type of move, but using 3 other notes. A C sharp, that, this, love. That one should be a D natural. Glad we're doing this. Those should be D naturals. That, this, love I have inside. Now, technically we are in the key of E. So the key of E has all of those notes, as you might remember from the lessons that we did before. I think that's even written on one of the other pages here. Right there. So this one right here, that note right there, that D sharp, is in the key of E, but we're going to use some notes that are not in the key of E, like that D natural right there, and that should show up in the numbers over here. Again, this is all stuff that we did in previous lessons, so if this doesn't make any sense, that's all right. You don't really need it that much anyway. I'm just saying this for people who are in the previous lessons. Those are your flat 7s right there, those guys right there. All right, so back to this version over here. That, this, love I have inside. And Kendra, would you make a note for us to change those to naturals for the archives? Everything it seems. Same motion that we did up, but just coming back down. And then we're going to go back to the exact same thing we did twice in a row at the beginning. But for now, I find it's... he kind of just says it's. He doesn't actually sing a note. If I give you an E for it's only in my dreams. And then the chorus is where things get a little bit nutty. We got that I can. Let's just try that much so far. We've got those 3 notes. We got to go up and come down. Go up, come down, and then we got these 3 notes. Go up, come down before we come back down to these guys. Go up and come down. Okay, so if we get those sets of notes, we should have the melody for this whole thing up to the chorus. Let's try it with the track. 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. If I could reach the stars, pull one down for you. Shine it on my heart, so you could see the truth. Then we're up to these notes up here. That, this, love I have inside, it's everything it seems. Back down, for now I find it's only in my dreams that I can. And here we go. This next section right here is the part that we need to work on. The notes aren't actually that terrible. They still kind of stay in a little section. Right there, those are the notes you're gonna need. C sharp, E, F sharp. Those ones right there. Change the world, I would be the sunlight in your universe. Again, I would be the sunlight in your universe. So at the very beginning of the song, I kind of set up shop in these 3 notes right here. And then, you know, we also have this little thing up here before we come back down to here. But then in the chorus, that I can, my hand's gonna go to kind of this territory over here and just kind of hang out right in here. Change the world, I would be the sunlight in your universe. Again, it's gonna take some practice to be able to play this up to speed with the track. Pretty much the exact same thing as we just played. I would be the sunlight in your universe. Same notes for you would think my love was really something good. Baby, I'm pretty sure this one's going to be a natural as well. We'll throw that in there. Baby. Then right here, we've got these, all these notes that jump around. This is probably the toughest part to play, just because you got to remember what the notes are. If I could, C sharp, B, E, then change the world. So, baby, if I could change the world. So, if we try all of that with the track, try to get all the notes that you can. Don't worry about the rest of them. Honestly, the chorus is going to be more interesting to play than the verse, but the verse is probably easier than the chorus. So just pick up all the notes that you want to or can, and don't worry about the rest. You got plenty of time to practice. Here we go. And a 2, and a 1, 2. Here we go. If I could reach the stars, pull one down for you, shine it on my heart, so you could see the truth. Now we move on up here and do the exact same thing. That this love I have inside is everything it seems. But for now I find it's only in my dreams. Now we're going to move up to the top. That I can change the world. I would be the sunlight in your universe. You would think my love was really something good. Baby, if I could change the world. And honestly, if it were me playing, it is me playing, but if I was just like playing this for fun, I'd probably make this one a flat, because vocalists and horn players and string players can all bend their notes. And technically we are playing a string instrument, but we can't really bend the notes unless you're playing on a keyboard that has that like little slidey roller thing over here. So when he sings it, he kind of sings change. It kind of like bends that note. But we can't really do that on piano because we just have to press a button that makes a particular sound. So change is kind of the same thing as... And if you're singing it, you could sing the note that's kind of in between those and actually get all of those notes in there. So that's probably what I would play if I was just playing it for fun. So, and I'm playing it for fun. So I'm gonna play a B flat there instead. Unless I forget. Here we go, let's try it again. 1, 2, 2, and a 1, 2, back down to the G sharp. If I could reach the stars, pull one down for you, shine it on my heart, so you could see the truth. That this love I have inside is everything it seems. But for now I find it's only in my dreams that I can change the world. I would be the sunlight in your universe. There we go. So there is obviously a lot to add in. We're just playing one note, but if that's tough for you, then great. Work on that. That should be wonderful for you to work on and get a little bit better in that way. But if that was not hard enough and you want to work on some of the chords, then I guess we'll go to the intermediate version of this lesson and put some of the chords in here, make it a little more complicated. Let's go. So sadly, the lesson preview has come to an end, and it's time to say goodbye to everyone watching the free streams. Of course, paying subscribers at learnpianolive.com can continue watching this lesson and several hundred others like it in the archives. So come on over and check us out, and if you like what you saw, at least like and subscribe, and then tell your friends to head on over to learnpianolive.com to start enjoying this journey with us. All right, so it's time to transition into the intermediate portion of the lesson, which is a stupid term because we're all intermediate players. Everyone has people who are worse than them, yes, even you, and everyone has people who are better than them, yes, even me. So I guess it's just really permission for you to leave the lesson. If you've already found something that you can practice and you can go work on, then go ahead and don't feel bad about taking off. You have not failed if this next part of the lesson doesn't make sense to you. I have failed if the previous part of the lesson didn't make sense to you. So if you still got questions, then feel free to ask those. All right, so it's time to transition into the intermediate portion of the lesson, which is a stupid term because we're all intermediate players. Everyone has people who are worse than them, yes, even you, and everyone has people who are better than them, yes, even me. So I guess it's just really permission for you to leave the lesson. If you've already found something that you can practice and you can go work on, then go ahead and don't feel bad about taking off. You have not failed if this next part of the lesson doesn't make sense to you. I have failed if the previous part of the lesson didn't make sense to you. So if you still got questions, then feel free to ask those. But if you want to take off and go practice whatever you found in the first part, then that's cool. I won't be offended. As long as you're making progress, we're headed in the right direction. So let's try the next section. All right, so let's try to add some stuff in here. So like I said, we're in the key of E, and so the melody, you can mess with the melody a whole lot. You don't have to just stick with the notes that are written here. So, for example, we talked about the note bending thing and how that thing, all that stuff. The same is true for all the rest of these notes. So, if I could reach the stars, is the same thing as what you have, only I threw an E in there, or if I could reach the stars. All that is totally options for what he might sing during any particular verse. So I gave you the general outline here of all of the verses kind of go like, they're all about getting from the G sharp up to the B, but the exact path that he uses for each of those, if I could reach the stars, all that stuff is options. So I'm going to start generalizing more with those notes so you can see a little bit how that would be. But if you are the kind of person who needs like, but what is the right answer? Play all of those. If I could reach the stars. Okay, so then we need to talk about all this stuff that's written up above all of these notes, this E and this E and this E. The A for right now you don't have to worry about, but we are going to try to play the names of the chords in the left hand. So we're not going to play the whole chord, but when it's time for an E, we're just going to play an E down there. The A over E, eventually what we're going to do is play the chord, the A chord, in the right hand while we play an E down here. But for right now, we're only dealing with the left hand, so we're not going to worry about the A. We're just going to play E, E, E. Let's try that with the track, and I'll just call out what I'm playing down here, and it should line up with what's on the paper there. Let's see if that works. 2 and a 1, 2, 3, 4, E, 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 E. So it's all E. So I'm still playing E's down there. So you and I'm going to switch to A and do pretty much the same thing. A still. Yeah. A. And then back down to E. G sharp. F sharp. G sharp. C sharp. D sharp. G sharp. C sharp. D sharp. G sharp. C sharp. C B. A. G sharp. G. F sharp. And then ended on an E. Yikes, I didn't do that well at all. So calling all those notes hard is more difficult than I expected. Let me walk through this part here for you. Change the world. So I should have been F sharp, G sharp, C sharp, and then D sharp, and then G sharp, and then C sharp. And it's gonna loop through those three again. D sharp, G sharp, and then right here it's gonna just go down by a half step. Once we hit the C sharp, C, B, baby, A, G sharp, hang on right there till we get to the G, F sharp, and then you can end the whole thing on an E, or you loop back around to the top and play the beginning again, or whatever, if you want to go through multiple verses. So that's how that's all supposed to go. Let's try it one more time with just the root in the left hand and playing the melody up here. This time I'm not going to attempt to call it out because that was not successful. Yeah. 1, 2, and a 1, 2, 3, here we go. All E's still down here. And then A's down there. But for now I find it's only in my G sharp. There we go. So that's more like what we would eventually be going for. But of course, you don't have to play it with the track either. If you want to, you can slow it way, way down like we're going to need to for this next thing where we play the chords in the right hand underneath the melody. So you want to keep all of that stuff the same. This is still going to be the lowest note. This is still going to be the melody. But underneath this melody, we want to put in as many chord tones as possible. This is not necessary at all. If you just play the melody, that's great, cool. If that's tough for you, then work on that. If playing that along with the left hand is tough for you, then that makes you a reasonable human being with normal amounts of talent. So don't feel bad if you can't keep on making progress through all of this stuff that we're adding in. Eventually you will. But for right now, we want to put in, if we can, as much of that E chord as possible underneath that melody. If I could reach. Now at this point, like we said before, we still want that E in the left hand, but we do want an A chord to be here in the right hand and kind of happening somewhere on the piano. So an A chord is going to be those three notes right there, A's and C sharps and E's. And I wrote in all of the chords for you on this other page right here. This page should contain all of the chords that you need in case you're not familiar with your chords yet. So an A chord is going to be A's and C sharps and E's. And so while that's our melody, we want to put in as many notes from the A chord as possible. Maybe just 1, maybe 2, maybe 3, 4, 5, 6. That sounds terrible, actually. Wow, it'd be like if the Mormon Tabernacle Choir was singing this song. Have all of those notes in there, but right there, that'd be fine. And on this top one here, it's actually an E7. So if you know what that is, then cool, throw that in. If you don't, it's just a D. Throw a D in, and that'll make that E a 7 because the D is a whole step below the root, the name of the chord. So if you go down a whole step from the root of the chord, you end up with that chord 7. So an E7. So if I could reach the stars, pull one down for you. That should get us through almost all of the verse. We do have this thing right here, that, this, love. So we'd go up to the A. That, this, love I have, right there is at D, and we have as much of the D chord underneath it as possible. However, underneath all of the underneath is that A. So we still want that A to be the lowest note that's happening because of that /A, but the D chord is the one that we're going to be trying to fill in. Love I have inside, and that also is a 7. So if you were paying attention before, that's our A, and in order to get the 7, we want to go a whole step below the root of the chord. That would turn into an A7 right there. That this love I have inside is everything it seems. And then we're back to the E. For now I find it's only in my dreams. So dreams is going to be a G sharp chord, which is G sharps and B sharps, also known as C, and D sharps. G sharp, D, B sharp, we'll just call it a C. C and a D sharp. So it's only in my dreams that I can change. This is an F sharp minor. Change. That's a G sharp major. The world, C sharp minor. Then D sharp minor 7, flat 5. Let's just say it's a D sharp, an F sharp, an A. Yeah, if you want to, you could throw in a C sharp on top of that. Yep, you probably should. But I can. Is it already in there? Please be in there. Change the world is not. No. World. Yeah, so you probably want to put in the C sharp right there. C sharp. Then think my love was really, yikes, some. That's the C sharp minor. Kind of a weird C sharp minor. You could put that note in there if you wanted to, but it seems like a lot of notes. Something good, baby. So that's that C sharp minor to C minor to B minor. Baby. If, that's an A chord. I could is E. It's an E chord over a G sharp. Change. That's an F sharp minor to an E chord. Okay. So we could play this along with the track, but honestly, if you don't play it along with the track, that's fine. It will still sound pretty good. With some practice, you could potentially get to something like... do better than that. can just slow it down and play it like one note at a time and just pretend like you're being artistic with it instead of, I can't play it at the crazy fast speed that's, what's his name? Eric Clapton plays it at. So, if you can get it with the track, then great. Work on that. But if you can't, just practice on your own. Just make it sound cool. Slow it way down until it's nice and smooth. And if it's, as long as it's smooth, people don't mind a slow version of a song. A lot of people really like a slow version of the song. What people hate is an unsmooth version of the song. So something that sounds like you're trying to play it faster than you can actually do smoothly, that's going to sound terrible. But just slow it all down if you need to. But for right now, let's try it with the track and we'll get all the notes that we can. 1, 2, 3, here we go. Something like that. Hopefully that helps you have at least some of the notes, the melody, or the melody with the bass, or the melody with a note or two of the chord tones in the middle. And then, like we talked about before, we can use any of the notes from the E major scale, but probably with a flat 7 and maybe a flat 3 as well. So this might be a great scale to take notes from if you want to play stuff in the middle. E, F sharp, G, A, B, C sharp, D, and E. Yeah. So anyway, any of those notes in the middle and then making up your own version. Just remember, the smoothness is the most important part. And I think with that down, then next week we're going to be working on all the stuff that we had promised before. So we'll be layering all the parts, trying to recreate the Eric Clapton version of this song on the one piano that I've got here with all the drums and the strings and the guitar. Man, that'll be interesting. So next week, we're going to layer everything. We're going to play it, just the individual parts. And what we came up with last time, I think was pretty cool. So hopefully this one will be pretty fun. It'll definitely be fun. I don't know if it'll be cool or not. It'll definitely be fun. Join me next time for fun. Love you. Bye.